Welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, you've talked a lot of ideas on how to get a home ready for sale, but the sudden increase in the number of available homes and the drop in volume of sales has quickly changed the speed of sale in the past several months. What should our listeners do to sell a house in a changing market?
Well, I think you go back to the basics of real estate, which is the 3 Ps. Preparation is actually number one. And getting the house ready for sale makes a huge difference on whether or not you're going to get top dollar and sell relatively quickly, or not get top dollar and have it sit on the market for a long time and slowly walk the price down until you finally get it sold. And then, of course, promotion, that is the responsibility of the agent, okay? And that should be done correctly. So pricing is also a huge part. We kind of touched on that in the last segment, but basically, if you overprice right now in this market, it will not work. It's kind of fun when I talk to home sellers about their decisions about pricing, kind of what their thought process is. A lot of them are thinking about how much they're going to put in their pocket, what they're going to do with the money when they sell, how much they need in their pocket in order to go on and, make their life change that they're doing. And I tell them all the time, I would love to get you $1 million if it's a $300,000 house. But at the end of the day, the market's going to pay what the market's going to pay for the home in order to get it sold. And so it's different. It's not, you can't always 100% rely on squeezing all this extra funds out of the sale of your home. The home is going to sell, and it's going to sell for the best price if you get those 3 Ps right: preparation, pricing it right, and hiring an agent that actually knows how to promote the home appropriately. So on the pricing part, that's part of what we do. We look at similar sales. We look at the competition. We look at how long the competition has been sitting on the market. We also look at why. Why is it sitting on the market a long time? Did they have a contract? Did it blow up? Or is it just overpriced? Right now, the average days on market for the homes that are selling is 31%, but the homes that are not selling is a larger number of that. And every week, about 24% of the homes on the market are either getting contracts or closing, right? So it's the assumption when you put the home on the market that it's going to sell, but that's not always the case. But if you just look at the pure demographics of what's going on in the nation right now, it's going to be fine. A lot of people are worried, oh my God, did I miss the prime time? Did I leave money on the table by not selling a year ago? Don't worry about that. The time to sell is when it's right for you. And at the end of the day, the basic demographics are going to work for you. On a national basis, we're still at a shortage of homes and households by about 3.8 million units in order to meet the demand of the growing millennial and the generation behind them population. Last year in Colorado Springs, new housing units were about 9,300, of which about 42% were apartments. So why are they building? Have you seen it when you're driving around, Richard, how many apartments are being built in town?
Oh my gosh. And it's not just right in Colorado Springs, downtown, all over the place.
Yeah, they are just slapping them up like crazy. About 42% of the new housing permits are apartment buildings. And rent is not inexpensive right now. It's really expensive to rent a home. But at the end of the day, buyers are getting into what they can afford. So if they're building that many apartment buildings, those people that are doing that are seeing that there's a housing need that we're not able to keep up with. So it's not the end of the world. I think what happened in the last couple of months with the Fed stepping on the gas, raising interest rates by over 4% in just a few months, coupled with a lower demand from the buyers that could no longer afford the payment and the corporate buyers who finally realized that, hey, the market's shifting. I'm not going to make a profit if I buy this pay over market value cash for this home and try to flip it, right? And it's funny, I was looking at a property last weekend that was purchased by Open Door. So Open Door paid $425 for this home a few months ago, and now they have it on the market for $410.
Jeez.
And I read that Open Door actually lost almost $1 billion by overpaying for homes, just like Zillow did, lost $500 million, right? So they swooped in, they made some money somehow in this crazy boom market, and now they're hemorrhaging money. And so they stepped out of buying homes overall, unless they can get a screaming deal on it. They're still heavily marketing. Zillow quit buying, but Open Door is buying. They're laying off people, but they're only buying if the seller gives them an absolute unbelievable discount on the home in which they know they can make a profit on. And so, the millennials, they're basically the biggest buying group today. They actually represent about 43% of the home buyers in the current population, right? And they're a big generation, which, bless them, I admire them for being so smart to invest in a piece of real estate. Because if you look back over time, go back long, really zoom out a long period of time, real estate goes up in value. It is a good investment, okay? Don't expect to make a huge profit like people did just in a year or two and walk away with an extra 100,000. That's not what real estate is for. It's a longer term play. And if you look back just in the past 1 year, home values have gone up 11%. So even if it cuts back to half of that going forward in the next couple of years, if we face or if we are facing a recession, which probably it's softening. They keep redefining it. Isn't that funny, Richard?
Yeah, and some people who do programs on television think that the word inflation is a new word.
That's so funny. Well, anyway, so people that invest in real estate have to understand it's not a short-term play. If you're going to stay in a home for at least 3 years, which a lot of military folks around here, I love serving military, I'm retired Navy, they typically are staying in their duty station for 3 years. That's enough time to buy a home with no money down, using their VA benefits, and turn around and sell it and make a decent profit at the end. You may not get a windfall, but you'll still make some money in the end. So don't give up on this market. It's okay. And pricing is really, really a key part of that. So finding an agent that knows how to price a home correctly takes market experience. And guess what? I've had people say to me, well, an appraiser told me this home is worth X. Well, I wouldn't really matter. I would not be concerned with what an appraiser says the home is worth unless the appraisal is for the buyer that you currently have under contract, because it's very unlikely that the appraiser is going to buy your home. They could say your home is worth $1 gazillion, right? But they're not buying your home. If you're going to sell your home, it's what the market says. And it also doesn't matter what the neighbors said your home is worth. This is so funny. I sold the house this past summer, and we went on the market right at the tail end of the springtime boom. It was just right around April. I said, look, you guys need to price it $399. That is the number. And their neighbor told them, oh, you're wrong. You could get $425 for that house.
Oh my gosh.
So before we went on the market, they raised the price to $425, and the home sat on the market for about a month and a half with no sale. Jeez. And finally, they invited me over and said, okay, we just want to apologize to you for not listening. We're ready to make the change. And we lowered the price down to $399, and it sold right away for $400.
The only time to trust the neighbor is if your neighbor is named Barb Schlinker.
Oh, that's funny. How cute. Thank you. So pricing is a very, very critical decision. It is a form of marketing. And the hardest thing to do is to be objective when you're deciding what your home is worth, especially if you've lived in that home, you've loved on the home, you've maintained the home. Some people do a great job at presenting their home to market. Some people just have the wow factor naturally, and they've invested a lot of money to do that. But I'd say most people aren't that way, right? They live in the home, it has wear and tear, and they have what I call rose-colored glasses about what it's worth. So you have to be super, super objective and look hard at those pictures of similar sales and similar competition to make that decision. And then, of course, preparation is huge. Unless the home is priced really, really low, make the cosmetic areas look good, especially flooring. Flooring's a big deal. It has to be great. It only has to be great compared to the competition. And then, of course, promotion is where the agent comes in. So most real estate agents solely rely on taking pictures and sticking a home in the MLS and doing what we call post and hope. Hope that somebody else has a buyer. That's kind of what they do.
I would say hope is not a strategy.
It's not. And you know what? Very often, agents that are showing the home may not have really done their due diligence to vet the buyers. In other words, they don't even know if the buyer qualifies. They're using the opportunity to show a home as a way to meet a new buyer that they don't know anything about, in hopes that, hey, if they like that home, great. If they don't, maybe I'll take them and sell them some other house. But that's also if we hope that they are qualified to buy a home. So a lot of times we see, when we do our open houses, we see agents introducing themselves for the first time to the buyer, going, oh, hi, are you? Oh, yeah, yeah. Nice to meet you. And then they walk up to me and they say, this is my buyer, and they haven't even met them before. They don't even know what they're looking for. So how can you tell that's happening? If you're showing your home right now and you're getting feedback where the buyer says something weird like, well, I wanted a home with a bedroom on the main level and it doesn't have one, that tells me that the agent never asked the buyer what they're looking for, that they've never even interviewed the buyer about what they're looking for. They're doing the post or show up and hope kind of strategy. That goes on a lot. So buyers come from starting online, right? Because everything's online now. They kind of think they're the ones that are finding the homes, but it starts with the listing agent marketing the home and getting it on the market, right? So they start looking online and they absolutely trust and eliminate homes based on the online exposure. So the preparation, the promotion, and the pricing must be right, or your home will be rejected without you even knowing it based on what's presented online. And we don't solely rely just on the multiple listing service, we want to make sure that we're promoting your home everywhere, but it starts with pictures and getting those right. I know you've seen this picture before, Richard, of this really messy home with dog food on the counter, and it's really bad. That was a marketing photo from some other agent.
Unbelievable.
Or would this home attract you to want to come see it?
No.
And that's
not the first one. I mean,
no, the first one won't.
Oh my gosh.
But the second one, it's got beautiful stone fireplace, and the furniture in there is actually virtually inserted into the picture, but it attracted the buyer. We got that one sold.
I wouldn't have never known.
Yeah. So what the part of what we do is we give home sellers advice on what to do, what not to do to get their house ready for sale. It's a free, no cost consultation. You can call us anytime at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. And just so you know, I was recently ranked by the Wall Street Journal as being one of the top 1.5% agents in the nation for sales.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have a proven track record, so we sell more homes. We're not saying that to brag. We're just saying that we do this all the time, so we know what's going on. We sell them faster. We sell them for more money than the average agent. And we want to make sure it's as much of a less hassle for the home sellers as possible. So to find out how we get the 3 Ps right, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or call us at 719-301-3900, because we are going to market your home to our 27,000 buyers in waiting. We're going to market our home to our cash buyers. We're going to do omnipresent marketing. Make sure your home is an awesome certified pre-owned home, and we'll give you certainty of sale with a guaranteed sale program. Richard?
These are some of the reasons I only recommend Barb Schlinker, a trusted Navy veteran. When thinking about buying or selling a home, I'm Richard Randall, and you're listening to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach Barb at 719-301-3900, or of course, barbhasthebuyers.com. Barb, this is always one of the most fun parts of the show for you. Tell us about some hot new listings that you have coming up.
All right. Well, I have a beautiful home on 1411 Clemson Drive, 4 bedrooms, actually could be 5 bedrooms, in great shape by the Citadel Mall, priced at $380. A great home in an over 55 neighborhood. You don't see too many of those, priced at $235. Fantastic home off of North Academy on Toma Road, priced at $425. A beautiful home on 550 East Platte, adorable Victorian, priced in the upper fives. Spectacular home over by Cottonwood Park on Tapestry Terrace, priced in the mid fours. Unbelievable property out in Divide on Spring Creek in the low sevens. It has a 4-car garage space, really, really cool remodeled home. Spectacular home with views on Garlock Court, overlooking Pulpit Rock and Pikes Peak at $1.3 million. Unbelievable home down at the Broadmoor Bluffs, 6205 Colfax Terrace, priced at $1,025,000. Amazing home by Black Forest and Woodman on Red Cardinal, under $500,000. Unbelievable home down by Peterson in the mid fours on Seder Drive. And our best buy of the week coming up, a fabulous remodeled home on 5 Treat Acres in Monument, priced under $900,000. Richard?
You're listening to the Real Estate Voice, and if you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com, and you can see replays of the show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Schlinker, Schlinker, or listen to the podcast on all of the popular podcast platforms, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and many, many others. Thank you for listening, and to reach out to Barb, call 719-301-3900. Thanks for listening. Barb, you have a great week.